Gongo.
Olamma lived a very happy life with her parents in the village. They ensured she had everything: food, clothes, education, happiness. She was their only child, and they promised to do everything in their power to make her comfortable. They were not rich, but they were not poor either. The money they made from running a small farm was just enough for them to get by. Olamma, as long as we are alive, you are never going to lack, they always used to say to her as they affectionately pinch her cheeks and ruffle her hair. The day Olamma's parents died was the day her life took a different turn, but she didn't know it yet. When a group of downcast-looking people walked into their living room where she was doing her assignments, she knew trouble was awake and ready to pounce. Their tight smiles and over-cheerful voices couldn't hide the tragedy that was behind the sweet words. "Olamma, please sit down," her dad's best friend told her. She was fearing to hear the worst, that her parents were injured and in the hospital. She steeled her spine and strengthened her resolve. She would help her parents through these tough times, she thought to herself. "Everything happens for a reason," he started. "There is time for everything. A time to plant and a time to harvest, to come and to go. And the ancestors have decided that it's time for your parents to join them," he finished. Olamma screamed, a loud guttural sound. She was inconsolable. At 13, her parents died from a speeding vehicle while they were crossing the road. At 13, she became known as Olamma, the orphan girl. After the burial ceremony, Uncle Izu and his wife came to pick her up, to take her to their home in Lagos, where they promised to give her education and the very best things. When her parents were alive, she rarely saw Uncle Izu. He was her father's older brother who lives in the big city. Her memories of him were few but not bad, so she packed her bags and left with him towards her new life in Lagos. She was grateful for this because the village reminded her so much of her parents and the memories were too painful to bear. When they got to her uncle's house, Olamma was overcome by disbelief. She had heard that her uncle and his wife were rich, but she didn't know they were filthy rich. The mansion before her stood tall like a monument. There were many cars in the garage and many trees too. The water fountain looked so beautiful as its water gleamed in the afternoon sun. She would find out later that the butterflies she saw were from the garden at the back of the compound, the garden that eventually became her favorite place in the entire mansion. "Wow! Uncle Izu, your house is very beautiful," Olamma told him. Her parents told her it's always good to compliment people. He didn't reply. She decided to try again. "Uncle Izu, I said your house is very..." "Shut up your mouth! Shut up your poor, wretched mouth and go into the house," Uncle Izu snapped at her. She was taken aback by the venom in his tone and the hatred in his eyes. She was wondering how she could have missed that terrifying look. "Leave her be. She just came here. She's still going to learn her place here. The street urchin is talking about a beautiful house. What does she even know about beauty?" "Dakunna," Uncle Izu's wife said, placing her hand on her husband's shoulder. When they got into the living room, she wanted to compliment the beautiful Italian marble and well-crafted sofas made with original Nigerian leather. She also wanted to talk about the flat-screen television that was so wide. The one back at home wasn't wide or big. She wanted to talk about the chandelier and beautiful flowers in the vases, but she couldn't. She didn't want to do anything to make her uncle ever look at her with such hatred again. "Children, we are home," Uncle Izu announced in a very cheery voice. She wondered if he was the same man who just sounded so hateful a few moments ago. The children came down, all three of them, their faces matching those of the kids smiling in the framed photos on the walls. "This is your cousin Olamma, and she'll be staying with us from now on, you hear?" Auntie Lakunna said. The oldest of them, who appeared to be same age as Olamma, just looked at her uninterestedly and headed back upstairs. The other two were curious twins, and they stared at Olamma like she was a puzzle that they wanted to solve, but they eventually went back upstairs, not one of them saying hi, not one of them welcoming her. "If you are going to stay here, then you are going to have to earn it. No slouching, no laziness, no loudmouthedness. I'm going to bring a mat to you soon, and you'll be sleeping under the stairs close to the kitchen. You are not worthy of being in any bed I bought with my money. You will wake up very early in the mornings to clean the entire house, fetch water from the tap at the backyard, wash my children's clothes, sweep the entire compound, polish all the surfaces, and make sure you complete everything in time to make breakfast. I hope you understand everything I said," Uncle Izu asked. In all honesty, she didn't. She had never done such labor before. Even in the village, she had never had to go out of her bathroom in order to fetch water. She used to clean her own room and do the dishes. They also used to wash their clothes with a washing machine, not by hand. Now her uncle has just said he will give her a mat to sleep on under the stairs. She used to lay in a comfortable bed with soft beddings. Well, if this was the price she was going to have to pay, then so be it. Uncle Izu, I'll try my best to do everything that's expected of me, though it's something I've never done before. But, you didn't say anything about school. I'm supposed to be resuming SS1 next term, Olamma said. The moment was very quick. One moment he was on an armchair, the next he was standing over her, her cheeks burning from where his palm had collided with her skin. The slap was very painful. "Education, my foot! You will watch how you talk to us in this house. You think you can just demand for anything and it's yours? You think this is your parents' house? Go and wake them up from the dead if you want to demand, but not here, not in this house," her uncle said to her. "Now take that dirty bag of yours and walk down that way. You'll see a staircase. Stand there and wait for us. That will be your new quarters," he finished. Olamma walked toward where she was directed to, tears streaming down her face, wondering why life had to do this. For the next 2 years, Olamma spent all her time doing the chores around the house, cooking, cleaning, weeding the garden, and doing everything her uncle and auntie demanded of her. Their children were the absolute worst. They treated Olamma even worse than their parents. They were spoiled brats who couldn't see people that weren't as rich as they were as real people. She didn't watch TV with them. She didn't eat on the dining table. She only ate leftovers after they had all eaten to their fill. One day, a visitor came unannounced. It was someone from the village. When Olamma answered the door, the person looked terrified and shocked. He couldn't believe it was Olamma. She had lost a lot of weight and there were marks on her body. He asked about school, and she told him that she hasn't been going to school for the 2 years she had been with her uncle. When her uncle came downstairs, the visitor asked why Olamma wasn't in school, and the uncle cooked up a silly lie. After the visitor left, Uncle Izu and Auntie Akunna beat her together. "So you think you can tarnish our image? You evil girl! You want people to think that we are not treating you right, is that right? Is that it?" They asked as they beat her. Olamma cried and cried, wishing her parents didn't leave her alone. Her uncle enrolled her in a private school. It was not as good as the one their children attended, but it was a good school nonetheless. She knew he enrolled her not because he wanted to, but because of his reputation. He didn't want to be seen as a wicked man, even though he was. He didn't want people to know or think that he was. At school, Olamma was struggling to keep up due to the fact that she was overworked and underfed. "Auntie, please can I do less work during the day so I can focus on studying for school? My teacher said my performance is not encouraging," Olamma asked, afraid. Her auntie rolled her eyes at her and told her to get away from her sight before she loses her temper, so Olamma quickly ran away. Olamma worked tirelessly during the day, after school, and when the whole house was asleep. She would read and read, do her assignments, and make notes. Olamma was the best student in her class. She and her friend, Folake, had a friendly competition between them, but Olamma always took the first position. During break in school, Olamma and Folake were sitting under a tree and talking about how Chimamanda's Purple Hibiscus was their favorite book when their teacher walked up to them. "Olamma and Folake, I'm sure you guys heard about the scholarship. The exam is next Friday and it's free. So make sure you apply for it on time and do your best. I want you guys to win it. It's fully funded. If you get this, you're going to study your dream course in a university in Ireland. This opportunity is very rare, so take advantage of it," the teacher said. Olamma and Folake looked at each other, smiled, and nodded their heads. "Auntie, Uncle, good evening," Olamma greeted, even though she knew she wouldn't get any reply. "There's this scholarship my teacher told us about. I would like to apply for it and write the exam." Her uncle looked at her in shock. "Olamma, do you want to kill me? What do you think people will say about me? Do you want people to think my wife and I are poor? That we can't afford your education without help? Look, I'm in a good mood today, but if you repeat this nonsense under my roof again, I will make sure to deal with you mercilessly. Now get out!" Her uncle screamed at her. The next day, Folake asked her if she had applied for the exam and if she was preparing already. "I can't. My uncle and auntie demanded I don't, so I cannot do anything," Olamma said sadly. "That doesn't make sense. Don't worry, I will find a solution," Folake said reassuringly, hugging Olamma. When Folake's sister came back from the bank where she worked, Folake ran to her room to welcome her. After welcoming her, she told her everything she knew about Olamma, about how she always wears a sweater no matter how hot it is to hide the many marks on her body. She told her sister about how she only knew about the mark when she visited Olamma to borrow a note and saw her lying on a mat under the stairs. The story broke Folake's sister's heart, especially because she had gone through the same thing in the hands of her father's sister, Auntie Jumoke. She decided to take Olamma in because she saw herself in Olamma and remembered how hard she had to work to give Folake the life she has now. "Olamma, great news! You can apply for the scholarship. You know it ends tomorrow," Folake said happily. "I've already told you I can't. My uncle and auntie will kill me," Olamma said. They don't have to. You can come stay with my sister and I once the result is out and you pass." I told her everything, Olamma. "You deserve better. You are very talented and hardworking. You deserve this," Folake said. Olamma cried. Olamma cried tears of relief. She needed to hear those words to remind her of who she is. She and Folake applied for the scholarship and passed the exam. They were so excited. After school that day, she packed her one small bag of clothes and snuck out of the house before her uncle and auntie returned from work. The children were upstairs playing video games, so they didn't notice her presence or absence. They never really did, except when they want her to do something for them. She didn't exist to them. She met up with Folake at the gate of her estate and followed her home. She and Folake went on to study their dream courses at a university in Dublin, living life to the fullest, almost at the goal of becoming astrophysicists. Olamma was forever grateful for Folake and her sister Tolu. If not for them, she would never have had it in her to break free and have this opportunity. Their kindness reminded Olamma that though the world is filled with evil people like her uncle and auntie, there were still rays of sunshine like Folake and Tolu, and that warmed her heart. She knew her parents were smiling down and proud of her. She also now knew that there was nothing she couldn't do, and she would do it all. She rescued a goat and it started talking.
Gongo.
Once upon a time, many years ago, there was a woman named Amaka who lived in a small village. Amaka was a very poor woman, but what she lacked in money, she more than made up for in kindness. Everyone liked Amaka because she was very hardworking and graceful. She treated everyone with respect, even little kids, and carried herself with pride. Some people gossiped about her. They hated that she didn't worship the ground they walked on because she was poor. But Amaka never paid them any mind. She knew she couldn't please everyone. Amaka was a farmer who sold her farm produce at the village markets. Her crops were very fresh, but for some reason, she never made enough sales to sustain her. She did the best she could, grew good crops but never sold well. Not even the many people who liked her really patronized her. Many times she wondered why, but just told herself that maybe luck wasn't on her side. The little she made was enough for her to get by. One morning, as she was on her way to the stream, she saw an injured goat by the roadside. The goat looked so weak and hungry. She didn't know if the goat belonged to someone, so she went ahead to fetch her water. On her way back, she still saw the goat lying in the same spot. She felt so much pity for the poor animal, but she decided to go home and get ready for the day, especially since she didn't know for sure if the goat had an owner. As she prepared for the day, the goat remained on her mind. She loved animals and had helped animals in the past before. The little bird with the broken wing, the dog with a thorn in its paw. She hoped the owner had come to pick it up, but she couldn't keep the goat off her mind. "I'll go and check on it again, and if it's still there, I'll help it," she said to herself. "I'll go and check on it again. If it's still there, I'll help it," she said to herself. She walked down the path that leads to the stream again. This time, the sun has fully risen. She saw the goat still lying there, bleating weakly. She lifted the goat up and carried it home. When she got home, she cleaned the goat up, treated its injuries and fed it the yam and potato peels she had for dinner and breakfast. After she had fed the goat, she put it in her shed and made sure it had everything it needed. She carried her produce to the market again for sales that day. Sales that day were the same as always, slow. After the day, she gathered her wares and left the market. When she got home, she checked on the goat and saw it eating the grass and other food she had arranged in the corner for it. She was so happy that the goat could move now. As she was about to leave the shed, she heard a voice say, "Thank you for helping me. I knew you would help me." She turned to look at the goat, then she laughed. Surely, she must have had a long day and was now imagining things, she thought. As she turned to leave, she heard it again. This time, she saw the goat standing behind her. "Do not be afraid. You are not hallucinating," the goat said. "My name is Oku. Oku the talking goat." Amaka was too shocked to speak. She had never experienced something like that. "How?" "I'm magic. I can help people get their heart desires. I'm not an ordinary goat, Oku said. You obviously are not an ordinary goat. How did you get there? Amaka asked. My last owner wanted to use my power wrongly, and when I refused, he beat me up, starved me, and abandoned me by the bush path. But then you saved me, and now I owe you. No, you don't. I didn't save you because I was expecting something in return. I just wanted to nurse you back till you're healthy again. Amaka refused. And that's exactly why I want to help you. You are not expecting anything from me. Tell me what your heart desires are, Oku said. Amaka thought long and hard about this. Okay, I would like for my business to flourish, Amaka said. Oku's horn started glowing. I'll come with you to your farm tomorrow morning, Oku said. Amaka agreed and went in for the night. She thought about this mysterious encounter throughout the night. This was a very strange occurrence, but somehow she didn't feel weirded out by the talking goat, whose name is Oku. She couldn't wait for daybreak to see what would become of her life. The next morning, she woke up before the first cockcrow, bathed and went to get Oku from the shed. As they walked down to her farm, Oku talked all the way, and she realized she liked talking to Oku. Oku had many stories to tell and much wisdom to share, and she didn't mind listening to him. When they got to her farm, Oku's horn glowed again. He touched his horn to the ground, and the crops grew bigger and fresher. When they went to the market that day, there was a long line of customers in front of Amaka's store. Amaka couldn't believe it. What did you do? Amaka asked in wonder. You were getting comfortable in your little earnings, and it was becoming evident in the works of your hands. I just broke the barrier, Oku replied. Oku decided to stay with Amaka. It was the first time he ever felt loved and cared for, and Amaka continued taking care of Oku. The more they were there for each other, the more they both flourished. Like a moth to flame, trouble lurked around the corner. Oku's previous owner had caught wind of Amaka's booming business, but he was the only one who thought it was strange. He went back to where he had abandoned Oku, leaving the magic goat for dead, but didn't see Oku's corpse lying there. He didn't know how or why, but somehow he knew Amaka had saved Oku and that Oku was responsible for all her good fortune. It was too much of a coincidence. Snapping his finger, he vowed to put an end to this. Oku can't choose to stop helping and then go ahead and help someone else. Oku must be for him and him alone. If he can't have Oku, then no one will. Amaka spent her hours after coming back from the market talking to Oku. She realized the goat wasn't just magical, but also very wise and intelligent. They exchanged thoughts and ideas, argued on principles, and shared jokes between themselves. To Oku, Amaka was a gift. She was as much of a gift to him as he was to her. This made him so happy. He had never felt this happy with any of his owners. Its white fur shone brighter. It was now round and full, and its horns appeared to be more polished. Amaka, my friend, Oku said one evening during their conversations. Yes, she replied. Oku was quiet for some time, deep in thoughts, as if putting thoughts together. I don't know how to explain this because it's also unclear to me. But I see you and I at a crossroad, and dark, heavy clouds hang above us. I think this means a difficulty lies ahead. What do you think? Oku finished and asked Amaka. It was Amaka's turn to be quiet and deep in thoughts. Whatever it means, I know we'll overcome it. We've both been through dark times before. This won't be different, Amaka said, reassuring Oku. In reality, she was reassuring herself too. Her reply pleased Oku and put his mind at rest. They talked a bit more about Amaka's day before she had to retire for the night in preparation for the next day. Amaka opened her stall and set up for the day. She displayed her fruits, vegetables and other wares as she waved and greeted her neighbors in the market. Her day started so well. She had many customers on that day and this pleased her. She couldn't wait to tell Oku about her day. As she was packing up for the day, a man came to her stall. She knew him. He was one of the richest people in the village. "Onochie, you came to my stall today. Am I safe?" she asked half jokingly, because Onochie had never patronized her until now. "You are indeed safe," Onochie said, laughing and shaking his head. "If you say so. How may I be of help to you?" Amaka asked. "I need one fresh melon," he ordered. "Would you like anything else?" she asked him. He just shook his head and said no. After she sold to him, she closed her stall and went home for the day, grateful for a good day. The next few weeks were the same typical ones she was accustomed to, but one thing stood out. It seemed like nothing to her at first, but the repetitiveness of the purchase weirded her out. Onochie has been coming to her stall every day for the past few weeks, buying the same thing. It was very unusual. "There's a man that's been coming to my stall now to buy the same thing for the past few weeks. A melon. I don't know, I think it's very weird. Especially because he didn't used to buy things from me before," Amaka said as she gave Oku his night meal. "This man, what's his name?" Oku asked. "Onochie," Amaka replied. Oku wondered if it could be the same Onochie he knew, but shook his head. The Onochie he knew thought he was dead. It couldn't be. "Please just be very careful of this strange man," Oku told Amaka, and she nodded in agreement. After a very busy day at work, Amaka made her way home. The only thing on her mind was to bathe, eat, talk to Oku, and then sleep. But as soon as she got home, she realized something was amiss. Her door was open. Her heart beat hard against her chest. She could hear Oku bleat loudly, as if in panic, and rushed to its shed. There she saw Onochie standing with a cutlass. "Onochie, what are you doing here? How did you get into my shed? What do you want with my goat?" Amaka asked, bewildered. Onochie laughed like a deranged man and pointed the cutlass to Amaka. "Your goat or my goat?" he asked with a crazed look in his eyes. "This goat is rightfully mine. What are you even talking about?" Amaka asked. "This evil man was my former owner," Oku said. Amaka got filled with so much anger. "So you were the one who left this poor goat to die," she shouted. "Why did this stupid goat stop helping me? Tell me!" "And then he came to help you," Onochie shouted too. "But you are a very wicked soul, Onochie, and the only stupid person here is you, you greedy man," Amaka said, standing in front of Oku with her arms spread protectively. "If I can't have him, no one will," Onochie said and charged at Amaka and Oku. Oku shouted and its horns glowed, creating a protective barrier between they and Onochie. This threw Onochie many feet away, knocking him out. After villagers heard the commotion, they ran into Amaka's shed to see what was happening. Amaka explained everything to them, but kept Oku's secret safe. Onochie was arrested and taken to the queen for judgment, and peace was restored to Amaka's house. where she and Oku lived together happily ever after. The day Ekaete was born, the whole community erupted in screams of disbelief. An abomination had happened. Ekaete's father and mother cried, wondering what they ever did to be punished like this. Looking at their dark-skinned red-haired baby, they gathered the resolve to bundle her and cast her out. No witch was welcome in the family or community at large. Ekaete lived her life in seclusion with the outcasts of the village at the outskirts. Even among them, she was still being treated poorly. They saw themselves as normal and her as abnormal. Don't play with Ekaete. Make sure you don't eat from the same plate. Don't go to the stream with her. Parents of the freeborns and outcasts would reprimand their children. Can I play with you? Ekaete would ask the other children, but they would refuse. No, you cannot. Go away, you red-haired witch, they said to her, shooing her away. But I am not a witch, Ekaete told them, crying. Our parents say you are a little witch. That's why your hair is red, the children replied, moving away from her. So she does not possess them as their parents promised them if they come within close proximity to her. Ekaete lived a very lonely life, having only music, gardening and animals to keep her company, singing to herself or playing the flute. When she turned 15, the outcasts got so jealous of her beauty and the fact that she was favored by the gods. When the crops of other people fail, Ekaete's crops would grow very healthily. If their animals fail to reproduce, Ekaete's small number of animals would reproduce fine. Her few hens laid enough eggs to sustain her. You witch! You're doing nothing but bringing suffering to us. Pack your things and leave us alone. We don't want you anymore, they said to her. But where will I go? My parents and the freeborns have banished me to live here in the outlands. Now you're asking me to leave. Where would I go? Ekaete asked, crying. We don't know, we don't care. Just leave us be, that's all, the people replied. This loneliness and solitude are all she's ever known, and now they want to take it from her too. So Ekaete packed her flute, took her animals, took her belongings, and moved away from the outlands. She walked a few miles into the forest and saw a little hut with a rising smoke. She summoned courage and walked to the hut. It was getting dark and she needed somewhere to pass the night. Knock, knock, Ekaete said as she got to the hut. There was no reply. Knock, knock, she said again. Come to the back, an elderly voice said. She went to the back and saw an old albino woman cooking over a fire. Mama, good evening. I was passing through and wondered if I could pass the night here since it's getting late, Ekaete said. Of course, my daughter. I don't get that many visitors, so I'll be glad to have you, the old woman replied. Ekaete settled in and sat opposite the old woman. The old woman looked at Ekaete for a while and smiled. Are you not afraid of me? She asked her. Ekaete shook her head. Why will I be? You're a kind woman and helped me in my time of need, she said. My complexion or lack thereof doesn't disturb you? The old woman asked her. No, it doesn't, Ekaete replied. What is a young child such as yourself doing wandering alone by this time of the day? She asked worriedly. Ekaete told her about how her parents and village accused her of being a witch, abandoned and ostracized her because of her red hair. You and I, we are very much alike. When I was about your age, I was kicked out of the village because of my skin color and because I could see things, the old woman said. What do you mean when you say you can see things? Ekaete asked. I can see glimpses of the future, but you shouldn't worry about that. Eat up and rest, my child, the old woman said. What do I call you? Ekaete asked the woman. My name is Inyobong, the old woman replied. Thank you so much, Mama Inyobong, she said and got up. Early the next morning, Ekaete got up to clean the compound, but saw that Mama Inyobong had already done it and had breakfast going. Mama, good morning. You should have let me do it, at least to say thank you. You've thanked me yesterday, that's enough. You don't owe me anything, Mama Inyobong said. Ekaite insisted on helping her make breakfast, and by noon, they were resting under an orange tree, sucking on juicy oranges and listening to the world around them. Mama Inyobong, yesterday when you said you see things, can you give me an example of things you've seen? Ekaite asked her. When I was 16, I was laying in my hut in the outlands, and I had a vision that a giant Iroko tree fell, and it was only one of its seeds that was blown very far away, that thrived and grew. Till date, I don't know what that vision means. Another time, I told the king that I had a vision where he died on his way to a coronation ceremony of a queen. They laughed it off and said I was rambling. He died, and they burned my house down and paraded me as a witch. That was the day I was banished, Mama Inyobong said. I'm so sorry, Ekaite sympathized. It's okay. They've hurt me, and I'm happy they'll be hurt too, Mama Inyobong said with a small smile. What do you mean? Ekaite asked. I had another vision yesterday, she replied. What happened in this vision? Ekaite asked. They all die, Mama Inyobong answered. No! What can we do? Ekaite asked, devastated. They only need to apologize to us. Our mistreatment angered the gods, Mama Inyobong said. We have to warn them, Ekaite said. Why? They wouldn't do the same for you. They've only done nothing but hurt you. Why would you want to save them? Are you trying to be a hero? Mama Inyobong asked. No, I'm not. I'm only doing it for the innocent children who don't know any better and are being taught to hate. I don't care that the people oppressed me, even my own parents. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it because it's who I am. My conscience won't be at rest. The outcasts who sent me out only did it to feel powerful. It was done to them, so doing it to me makes them feel good. It doesn't excuse their evil, but we can't keep this cycle of evil, Ekaite said. There was a brief silence. I won't try to stop you, but you must know that they won't listen to you. You'll be wasting your time, Mama Inyobong said. But at least I can say that I tried, Ekaite replied. With that, she got up and made her way to warn the villagers, knowing in her heart that they truly might not listen to her, that she might be punished for even trying to help them. But she tried anyway, because though she was called the Red-Haired Witch, she was a piece of sunlight in a world so dark, and she was doing her job of illuminating the darkness.
Gongo.